And we are live on YouTube, guys. Smash the subscribe button today in Crypto Show. This is Monday, 30th of April. Vitaly Dubin is here, founder and creator of Bitcoin's Walls Club system. I'm super excited for another awesome day of hot cryptocurrency news. And now we are live on Facebook as well. What is going on, guys? What is happening today in Crypto Show, Monday, 30th of April? This is the hottest news about cryptocurrency. Vitaly Dubin is here, founder and creator of Bitcoin's Walls Club system, where we are helping people become crypto millionaires. And every single day, it's one day closer for you to becoming a crypto millionaire. So as usual, we have a lot of awesome, exciting news happening in the crypto space. The market never sleeps. So we are going to start with the foundation of what's happening in the marketplace. We'll talk about Amazon and their moves to make Bitcoin less anonymous as it is right now with its recent patents and moves from the government to stop the pump and dump schemes. We're going to talk about that and other things as well. So how are you guys doing? Let me know in the comments, and I'm going to get started with the market update. So we have $430 billion market cap, similar to yesterday, so not much of a movement from yesterday. We see Bitcoin has not changed from the last 24 hours, Ethereum as well, Ripple, you know, a lot of the cryptocurrencies are staying on the same track. EOS went down by 5%, overall is down by 15% from its high rally. For a couple of weeks, it was gaining a lot of momentum for EOS. It is, what is EOS? It's Ethereum on steroids. You know, so maybe EOS is going to be moving somewhere with Ethereum, or maybe replace Ethereum at one point. There's a very interesting future to EOS, but a lot of the coins, apart from Tron, which gained 11%, and Neo 10% in the last 24 hours. Congrats on you guys holding those coins. We are you know, continuing to create new cryptocurrencies, 1589 right now, and some of the coins like Cardex 22.59% and AELF 21.5% changed. So what is happening in the crypto space right now? Well, let's start with CFTC, that aims to end cryptocurrency pump and dumps with a bounty program, which, you know, a lot of those groups, now there's too much of those groups that are existing on Telegram and other means and channels, where basically they're telling people to go and buy a particular cryptocurrency at a particular price, you know, in the market at a particular time in the day, and everybody is buying those. And of course, the only people who are you know, gaining here are the people that are announcing about the coin, because they are buying it in advance and they're knowing which coin they're going to pump and then dump, and it literally happens in a couple of minutes. This time period of people, you know, like being led into losing their investment pretty much, because they're buying the cryptocurrency where those people who started the pump and dump groups already are selling it. So the government is cracking down on such behaviors, and we want to see the cryptocurrency market more secure for investors. So the US Commodity Futures Trades Commissions, they're of course aware of the pump and dump crypto groups that are happening, and they want to get an end to it. So they offer big incentives for people, like if they're going to arrest somebody's calling on Facebook on live. If we're going to arrest people and do sanctions for them for $1 million or more, then they're going to be eligible for 10 to 30% of the sanctions as a reward. Okay, so right now there's been little to no repercussions for people who are organizing those pump and dump groups, where literally the coin jumps by 200 or 300% in a matter of 1 minute, sometimes 1-2 minutes, and then they dump it. And you know, they're trying in some coins on some spreading fake news about some cryptocurrencies on a small scales, and then, you know, making a profit from this. So it's a good move from the government, and we definitely want to see the number of pump and dump groups slowing and lowering down. Now, interestingly, what is happening with the blockchain technology? We have a batch of patents that are coming from no other guys than Amazon, the giant of online retail that is multi-billion-dollar corporation. They're realizing that Bitcoin is here to stay, so they have recently obtained a Bitcoin tracking patent. Now, what does it mean? It means that they have figured out how to track Bitcoin and associate the transactions to, guess what? Bitcoin address could be easily associated with a shipping address, an IP, an email, and bank account, or a social media profile by online retailers, internet providers, and they can track those data streams, combine information, and sell the data, which it makes the Bitcoin more less anonymous, right? Less untraceable as it claims to be, if this patent is actually going to be realized and utilized. But one big thing is definitely Amazon is eyeing on using Bitcoin for all of the retail transactions, guys. So what does it mean? Well, imagine all the people on Amazon.com using Bitcoin or Litecoin or Ethereum or the cryptocurrencies, right? And being able to just with one click of a button or whatever, to buy books or buy all the other stuff on Amazon with Bitcoin. That's going to jump the price of Bitcoin by a magnitude, because Amazon has vast customer base. So that's a good sign on one hand, right? On the other hand, if we're going to start seeing this happening, which makes the Bitcoin blockchain less anonymous, it's not a move in the right direction of the anonymity part, because the governments, obviously the law enforcement and all of that stuff are going to be very interested to receiving those details about the transactions by country. So keep that in mind, and I'm excited to see Amazon accepting Bitcoin. Actually, it's going to be big news for the Bitcoin community. We have Walmart that is not using Bitcoin as a crypto as for payments yet, but they're developing their own employing their own blockchain in payment systems for vendors and customers. And like I've shared it multiple times, the blockchain can be utilized for so many different things and projects, and payment processing is one of them. And Walmart is definitely moving in this direction. I don't know if they're going to be using Bitcoin per se, but they have patents that they can process automatically the payments using the blockchain transaction, encrypting the transactions on their own blockchain. So this is very interesting. Moving on, we have Buffett slanders Bitcoin once again. I already mentioned it in a couple of previous episodes. Now, I want to just say that Warren Buffett is one of the wealthiest people alive, but when it comes to cryptocurrencies, he doesn't understand much about cryptocurrencies. But one point that he makes very valid is about the investment side. People think there are two kinds of items that people buy, things they're investing. One is investing, one is not investing. So when you buy like a house, right, you can rent a house and receive monthly payments. That's cash flow that is coming in, and you look at investment itself to deliver the return to you. Now if you buy a Bitcoin, you don't really have anything that has produced anything. So what he's meaning is that it's not an investment that is producing you cash flow, right now. Because you buy Bitcoin, it's not that's going to yield you cash flow months in and months out, just like owning a real estate location. Okay, so there's different types of investments, and Bitcoin is a different animal. Bitcoin is here for the long term, and the impact it has on all the financial systems and how it all operates. So there's huge value in that Warren Buffett fails to realize. Moving on, we are continuing with the lawsuit that are oncoming on Bitcoin Cash and Roger Ver, which is one of the biggest proponents and evangelists of Bitcoin since the beginning. And he, moved on to prefer Bitcoin Cash instead of Bitcoin. He invested a lot into Bitcoin Cash. He runs Bitcoin.com website, and he was misleading Bitcoiners and representing Bitcoin Cash as the real Bitcoin. So that leads to a lot of a lot of frustration and rage in the Bitcoin community, and they're calling out to stop this behavior. They're accepting donation. They're going to do a lawsuit and all of that stuff. And from Wikipedia now, from Bitcoin.com was removed from that page as a relevant reference site, as a resource, because of those behaviors demonstrated on Bitcoin Cash. Now, granted, Bitcoin Cash, and you're going to see there's more more places, especially in Japan, that is thriving on Bitcoin Cash. So Bitcoin Cash is not going anywhere soon, but it's not like an innovation like Ethereum. Bitcoin Cash is just a fork from the main Bitcoin that supposedly faster transactions and that kind of stuff. So a little bit modification on the protocols. Okay, next we have 4 million. I already shared with you that 17 million Bitcoin already been mined, and 4 million Bitcoin has been left. As you know, every 210,000 blocks, or every 4 years approximately, the Bitcoin per block, the reward is being halved, right? So it started with 50 Bitcoin per block, then 25 Bitcoin in 2012, and now 12.5 Bitcoin, and in 2020 it's going to be 6.2 half 25 Bitcoin for each. So we are seeing this amount of Bitcoin. We are here right now. If you're looking at the charts, the amount of Bitcoin is going to get less and less and less and less and less and less with each year, which of course have a lot of people saying, well, that's scarcity, right? There's a rule of scarcity. We're going to have less and less Bitcoin, hence the value of Bitcoin is going to move up and up and up, and it can replace gold for its similar scarcity functions, and can reach at some point $700,000 according to some people. Okay, but of course there's the other side of the argument, and we'll talk about that as well. Then we have Ethereum, guys. Ethereum can become, and many people cited that, $2,500 for one Ether in 2018, this year, by the end of the year, and it could become the world's most valuable cryptocurrency. Now, why is that? You need to understand the difference between Bitcoin and Ethereum. Ethereum was invented by 19-year-old Russian programmer Vitalik Buterin. Yes, his name is also Vitalik. It's awesome. And in 2015, he launched this. It was worth like $1. Then it stayed for 2 years below 10 bucks. And in the space of 12 months, it rose by 2,600% and reaching at a peak $1,400. Now, the difference between Bitcoin and Ethereum is vast, because with Bitcoin, you use it as a store of value, and you use it for transactions. With Ethereum, you can decentralize everything, guys. You can decentralize everything from the application, the decentralized application that a lot of the people and companies are using, smart contracts for all kinds of industries beyond the money industries, right? It can decentralize the entire internet. Okay, so this opens up a vast potential of business use case, particularly as we move towards much more connected and autonomous future. Ethereum has the potential to proliferate to all levels of business interactions, right? And help you to usher the future in which self-driving cars, which will be in the future, can accept crypto. Imagine you're getting in the car, and it's self-driving car, and it is, it's all with crypto, so it accepts crypto. So it becomes self-sustainable car So that's what's coming in our future, and Ethereum can be very well used for this purpose. Okay, so definitely a lot of value in Ethereum. We have 9 brand name companies that have joined the Enterprise Ethereum Alliance, and we have some big names on this list, including Microsoft and Intel and Accenture and BP and Credit Suisse and JP Morgan Chase. They're all part of the Ethereum Enterprise Alliance, which is basically an organization that they are using the Ethereum blockchain and seeing how they can implement this into different projects. So the argument for the Bitcoin, right? We're seeing Bitcoin also featuring the future trading platforms for CME Group. So trading on global markets, accepting Japan has it as a form of tender in Japan for Bitcoin officially. But regarding the mining and the scarcity, right? So it will be another 122 years until we mine all the Bitcoin there is to mine according to the protocols. And this article basically argues for this fact that yes, we have 21 million coins on Bitcoin mark that will ever be mined, but that's according to the protocols, right? Now, obviously, it is a protocol, and protocols can be changed. It's not like a super nuclear mission rocket science. If everybody is going to agree at some point in the future to change the protocol or create a hard fork, like we've seen, it was Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin Gold, Bitcoin Private, and Bitcoin Diamond, all kinds of Bitcoin forks, you know. So it isn't as scarce as we may think Bitcoin is, because who knows, in 50 years, in 20 years, who knows if they're going to change the protocol or not, right? Because there's always a potential that this protocol can be changed and can be altered. Now, finally, there is a new book that has been published to explain Bitcoin blockchain for the kids. So now, instead of the bedtime stories for special little kids, we can start reading books about Bitcoin and the blockchain. You can order it on Amazon, a place in the blockchain. Kindle edition is $0. Okay, so you can download it and read it if you have kids, and start educating the kids about the blockchain and its use, and all the fun stories, because this is the future. The kids are our future, and we need to educate them about this new technology, because who knows, the Vitalik Buterin, in 19 years old, he created the whole Ethereum cryptocurrency, and a new currency and a new innovation. So at 19 years old, so our new kids might very well invent something at, a new currencies at a very young age. Crypto auctions, where do those Bitcoins end up? There's so many Bitcoins that have been seized in some of the arrests. Like, for example, Silk Road. This is what gained Bitcoin its popularity back in the 2013, when all kinds of stuff was used on the Tor network from the drug dealers and marijuana and all that kind of stuff, illegal drugs. So they seized over 170,000 Bitcoins and used a special force inside the government to basically sell those Bitcoins on the on the auction, right? We have Bulgarians in May 19th, 2017. That's interesting. There is some forces in the organized criminal group that they're recruiting corrupt customs officers in many European countries to infiltrate a virus in the customs computerized systems and avoid the payment of taxes. And they seized, they used this money to invest in Bitcoin. And guess what? They seized 213,519 Bitcoins, which is like tenths almost of Bulgarian, the whole GDP. So where's those Bitcoins? Who owns those Bitcoins? It's still unclear. especially with the Bulgarian case. Where the heck those 230,000 seized bitcoins, which will be enough to pay off 1/5 of Bulgarian's national debt. And what else is in the news? In the blockchain innovators summits, we are going to see some flying cars. You know, and it looks like this. So no, it's probably not a flying car, but it's going to be like Uber for X. You know, Uber for X, this project, which basically in the future we're going to be seeing more and more flying autonomous cars. So I think those will be powered with Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. And Bitcoin Cash continues its adoption. We have a crypto cafe bar, gold vendor, concealed carry closing, all kinds of stuff that you can buy with Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin, of course, as well. Especially, it is very, very thriving in Japan, right? As in Japan, it is legal tender for Bitcoin, and people can buy all kinds of stuff, you know, with their cryptocurrencies, from t-shirts, from, you know, in retail location, from glasses and bars, and all kinds of things. So those are the major news for today. As always, it is very exciting to see the market. We are seeing overall a great boom in the altcoin market. So for Ethereum, definitely a possibility for $2,500 by the end of this year. So hodl some Bitcoin. Take a look at the EOS and what it has to offer for the long-term future. Bitcoin Cash is not going anywhere. It may be a little bit pullback, but there's a war right now between Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash. And let me know what you think about this whole Amazon thing. You know, are you going to be okay with Amazon collecting data about those transactions and, you know, relating them to shipping address and all kinds of stuff, and selling this data to other parties, achieving this patent, are we moving in the right direction of decentralization? If this is going to be the reality, it's going to be really cool to go on Amazon and buy stuff on Amazon with Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. Okay, so those were the big news for today's crypto show, and I'm going to see you guys on our next live crypto show tomorrow.